And I noticed when I look back in my life, I remember that it was just the basic conversations about compound interest that my grandmother had by giving me savings bonds at Christmas. That's what led me to become a finance professor, because I did not understand. I would look at this bond and it would say 100 on it. I'd be like, is this $100? Like, Grandma, like, what is this? She said, no, it's not worth $100. I bought it for 50. And I'd be like, well, why does it say 100? And she would say, oh, but it'll be worth $100 in 7 years. And that's when I started being introduced to the fact that money can actually grow if you position it where it can grow. And that's what led me to do all the other things I did in my life. So with your kids, the tiniest things you say and do, they're going to take it and they're going to run with it. They're going to make it into something that you can't even envision. So that's what we encourage a lot of families to do, is just sort of have basic wealth building conversations. So one of our programs is called Black Millionaires of Tomorrow. It's a popular program. We have about 5,000 kids. We want to get 100,000 in the next 7 to 8 years.
I really want to take an opportunity to slow down on that, because so my viewers are interested. So how do they become a part of that? How do they get involved?
Well, a great place to go to see a lot of our programs is blackfinancialliteracy.com. That's blackfinancialliteracy.com. That's where a lot of stuff is there. And also, even if a person can't afford to do a program right now, and they don't cost a whole lot, but even if you can't afford it, you can still sign up for things for free. And we want everybody to have a chance to get something, because there are very basic things you can do. For example, I created a model for black families on how to turn your child into a millionaire. And people thought I was just making it up and snake oil. I said, no, my master's in mathematics. It's all about the mathematics. So the model is KID, knowledge, investment, discipline. And what we do is we break down to parents step by step how you can take your newborn baby and make sure that by the time that child is 35 to 40, they have an 80 to 90% chance to becoming a millionaire, just by very basic investments. For example, a lot of people don't know that if you invest, if let's say 20, 30 years ago, you would invested, say, $5 a day in the stock market, which is the amount of money it costs to buy a McDonald's value meal. If you did $5 a day, after 10 years, you'd have about $30,000. After 20 years, you'd have about $102,000. After 30 years, you'd have $281,000. After 40 years, you'd have about $770,000. Now, think about this. By the time you get to the 770 mark after 40 years, and again, for a newborn baby, 40 years old, they're still pretty young enough to really make some moves, right? So $770,000. The original investment, the amount of money you actually put in, would only be about 75 over the course of a 40-year period. So what I love to try to help people understand is that, think about how that 75 became 775. Well, it's almost 10 times more. Well, that's the magic of compound interest. Albert Einstein actually said that compound interest is the most powerful force in the universe, because he was fascinated with how fast money can grow if you let it grow. You know, but the problem is that we're trained in two ways as black people. We're trained to be laborers and we're trained to be consumers. We're not trained to be owners. We're not trained to be investors. So when you are a laborer, we're always working for somebody else, which makes it very difficult for you to really build wealth.